You wave at each other. Yeah, so such a wonderful evening tonight on this Tuesday. I believe you are doing very well. We are super excited as we come to the close of the month of June. And yes, June is a wonderful month. I'm so happy so far that people are really doing a lot to grow their businesses. We are really, people are sponsoring, people are growing, people are doing points. And so that is really, you, especially if you want to grow in our business, you had better do the success habits that will help you to be able to grow. So each and every day you look at what you have done. You look at your day and you try to, critique your day, whether you ever, even spoke to people, did you even share a product, did you even first use a product? Yes, so this is so important, superstars. Tonight we are excited. Last week we looked at prospecting and inviting as one of our, as the two of the first skills in our business. We say prospecting is the first skill, the second skill is inviting, then the third skill is presenting, and then follow up. So those are some of the skills, but we have many others which we shall be looking at as we move along. But to remember tonight, we are doing the third skill and the fourth skill, that is presenting the business. So last week, as we were looking at prospecting and even inviting people, we saw there are so many things that we need to do to be able to do a good prospecting and therefore be able to invite someone. And I remember we were using tools. We were talking about if you're using a tool, you may be sending to someone, you have to confirm 3 times that they are going to watch the tool that you have sent them. And I believe all of us have been able to use that method to be able to get people be interested in what they are doing. Now, yes, you have prospected, the prospect is interested in what you're doing, you've given them maybe a tool, and then now you have invited them and they have agreed. And so they have come. Now you realize presentations vary. We have a 3-way call, which is also can be a presentation. We have a Zoom presentation like what we have tonight. We have, an event like the one we had with the Charlie event at KICC. That can also be a way of presentation, but we also have the one-on-one. And of all these, one-on-one is the most effective method of presenting. Why? Because you're able to address the need of your prospect. You're able to go direct. So if the prospect has a problem, for example, they are sick, they have cancer, you are only going to direct your presentation towards our products. You will not be talking about maybe traveling the world, First of all, there is the basic thing that this person has come for. Again, if it's a young person, you don't dwell so much on the products, you dwell on the business part so much. So it all depends on who you are talking to. And that is why I'm saying a one-on-one presentation is one of the most effective presentations in the business. Yeah. So we all have to really learn how to do one-on-ones, because I realize there are so many people who are just lost in the crowd. Maybe if you have to bring a person, you have to bring them to a big meeting. Well and good, that is nice, but the main one is the one-on-one, whereby you even connect with your prospect. You are able to have a one-on-one connection, because our business is emotional business, is an emotional business whereby you have to connect with the person. So as you connect with this person, you are developing a bond which will grow to help you to be able to help them in growing their businesses. They're able to open up on their challenges, the objections that they could be having, and therefore you can be able to address them directly instead of in a group meeting where you have to balance everything. So basically, it is so important to do a presentation. And of course, you have to keep time. When you go to meet someone, whether it is a one-on-one or even in a meeting like the one we have tomorrow in Nairobi at our training place, make sure that you're always on time. The prospect should never arrive before you. Please note that. That is point number 1. If it is a Zoom meeting, don't allow the prospect to come into the Zoom meeting before you arrive. Be on time. Actually, be in time. Come earlier. come as early as possible, you know. When they say that when you come 15 minutes earlier for a meeting, you realize you own the place. You are not even, you know, you get to familiarize yourself with the place. So number one, be on time. Okay. That is so important. And if it is a one-on-one meeting, just ensure that the meeting is happening in a public place, not a private place, not in a hotel room. You know, it can be in a restaurant, in a hotel, but not in a room. Yeah, not also in a maybe a bar, a bar, whereby maybe someone may be skeptical to go there. Sometimes even going to a church may not work, especially if the person does not belong to your church or something like that. So make sure you are meeting this person in a public place, because a public place will not bring out any misconceptions with your prospect. So it's so important. Now, when you're meeting the prospect, be as professional as possible. You know, we are fond of using the other names like my dear, you know, even if it's a lady and a lady, you know, there is a way you address each other. Let it be professional as possible. So now you have met this prospect, you want to do a presentation to them. Of course, we look at the dress code before you meet somebody, even if it is on Zoom. Even your dress code also matters. You can't just wear, just because it's a Zoom meeting, you wear just anything. You also have to dress very well. So your dress code, remember, you sell yourself before you sell the opportunity. So your dress code, your kind of makeup, don't exaggerate too much. Do just moderate if you have to do makeup. You know, if you have done your hair, make sure the hair is as professional as possible, not the long ones that go on your face and the person cannot even see you properly. You know, when you keep returning your hair backwards, that is not going to be professional. So, and the dress code should be very moderate. You don't exaggerate anything. If it is for a lady, let the dress be as not short at all. And even the sitting arrangement should also be very something to consider, because if you are presenting to somebody, we always recommend that you sit 90 degrees. So that means when you're facing this way, they should be facing this way, or you face this way, they are also facing this way. So make sure you are sitting, don't sit facing one another, because at some point, you know, your legs may lock, and that is not very exciting. So we are saying these are things that really prepare you for the presentation. So when you're going for a presentation, you remember that there are things that you're going to carry. One of them is maybe a folder, very, very beautiful folder. You don't carry a carrier bag. You know, if you carry a book that you're going to use for presentation and it's inside a carrier bag, it will not be so professional. Lucky enough, in our kit, we have a very professional folder. You can use that one to carry your stuff. You can also use a clear folder that you buy, and that one is you can use it every other time. It is, you can use it today, tomorrow, and the other day. So that is so important, guys. You know, very, very important tips that you need to understand before you meet a prospect. And, you know, be comfortable. You know, if you're not comfortable, especially in your clothing, or even, you know, there are things that you have to be very comfortable with it with yourself, so that you get the confidence to be able to talk to the prospect. So you also have to carry a price list, very important, the retail price list and distributor price list. This is important because this prospect may want to buy the products from you instead of joining you. So it's good to have those price lists. You should have an order form. An application form is very important so that the prospect can be able to commit to be able to join you. So application form is also very, very important. And of course, a writing pad, a book that you can write and draw for them, and all those things. And also, you should carry a professional pen. I don't know how many of us are writing. What kind of pen do you have? Let it be as smart as possible, because as we said, you sell yourself before you sell your product. So this is so important for all of us to understand. And when you're going to meet a prospect, of course, you have already invited them and they are ready to come. And so you are now doing a one-on-one presentation. The first thing to do is watch your sponsor do a one-on-one presentation. Don't go out and do a one-on-one presentation if you've never had anyone doing it. So watch your upline doing one-on-one presentation. Number two, familiarize yourself with the presentation flip chart. In our books, we have the flip chart, the one that is helping us to present. Familiarize yourself, or the slides. You know, if you are using slides, familiarize yourself. Don't open a slide and you're shocked, like, what is it talking about? Familiarize yourself before you get to meet the prospect. And what you do, you can also practice it several times. Sit down, practice it even on your children, on your downlines, on your upline. Try to practice the presentation. It is so important. Then the next thing is develop your ID, your story. Imagine even if you are a few days old in the business, you have a story to tell. So develop your story. Your story is so important, and practice it. I'll be sharing that in a short while. Then, if you are meeting with a guest, for example, tomorrow, then do this. Today, you call the prospect. Call your guests the day before. Give them directions to where they are coming. If, for example, they are coming to Market Mansion in Biashara Street, make sure you call them, ask them whether they know Market Mansion. They tell you they don't know. You describe the place, because if they come and maybe you are not picking your calls, they would think it is a scam. So call your guests the day before, give them directions, encourage them to bring their spouses. That is one so important thing also. Encourage your guests to come along with their spouses or even their friends, and make other arrangements for their children. Let them not bring their young children to the meeting room, because you discover if someone came with a young child, they'll be disturbing them, they'll be moving out, and therefore they will not concentrate. So why should they come with their spouses and some of their friends, and especially the spouse? Is so important, because these are the very people who can easily go and discourage your prospect. So come with them, let them come with them. So encourage them, tell them the importance of coming with their spouses. Then in case of any cancellation, reschedule. Make sure you reschedule. If someone said, oh, something has come up, and so tomorrow, Wednesday, I'll not be available to be with you in the meeting, then you reschedule. Just say, how about your Saturday or your Monday, something like that. So if the presentation is that they are home, ask for directions as early as possible. Let them give you directions as early as possible. So the first thing when you meet someone and you have sat down and the first thing is that you tell your story, introduce yourself, give your ID, tell them a little bit about yourself. What do you do? How you got involved with Neo Life, why you decided to start your own business. Those are some of the things you need to tell them beforehand, Then you share the products. Our presentation, we start from the triangle, discuss the ranges of the products. And if you can do a demo, the better. Nowadays people are doing a demo on maybe a broccoli. You use LDC to wash a broccoli. It's a nice presentation. Then give your personal testimonial, especially about the product. So if you have used a product and it has worked for you, just give your testimonial. Then we say the next thing is share the opportunity now. Go in and share the opportunity. Show them the power of our business, how they can grow themselves, how they can, you show them, and especially the core rank that is director, how they can be able to move to director maybe within a span of 3 months to 6 months or even 1 year. Then now share success stories. You can use a lifestyle magazine, and that is why you need to have a lifestyle magazine. Share stories, even if it is for other people. Share it with your prospect. Share maybe nationwide stories using the magazine. There are people like right now we have a magazine, and our one and only upcoming president team member, Kate Florence, is in that magazine. You can share her story. This lady is a nurse. She's still working the business on part-time basis. Guess what? She's made it to the world team. She's traveled the world, something like that. Share success stories of other people. You may be so new in the business, but you tell them, you share the success story of other people, and you tell them, my future is very bright, So That is so important. Now, in the products, focus only on pro-vitality. You remember the triangle, the wellness triangle, and the upside down where we eat abnormally or unhealthy, and you show them the scared, the consequences of eating unhealthy. That is lifestyle diseases. And now you give them the solution of what? Of pro-vitality. That is a very important or key tool to be able to use. Then for the opportunity, show them when they join the business, and of course the three model to director, whereby you show them they can become a manager, then they become a senior manager, they become an executive manager, they become a director. So we can say 4 model. That is manager, senior manager, executive manager, and then director. And show them the income potential for every level. It's very important to know at manager, how much do you earn? Senior manager, how much do you earn? Direct executive manager. And when you are quoting the figures, it's also important to quote the possible profit that you can get by you sharing the products. Now, so after you tackle the presentation, and before that, of course, I'm going to talk about your ID. Very, very important. So how do you tell your story? Of course, you tell them your background. My name is Pearose Cherotich. I am married. That is optional, by the way, where you talk about maybe status. I am married, and I am a mother of 4 children. I'm a teacher by profession. Before this opportunity, I was teaching in high school. I'm a teacher of physics and mathematics. But, as I was going about my duties, because of the remuneration that was so low, my salary was very low compared to my bills. I was really stressed. I developed a weight challenge all the way to 124 kg, and I was not happy about it. And now you give the solution. How was Neolife helped you? So in 2010, we got an opportunity to be presented to this wonderful opportunity of Neolife, and I was told that I can be able to take back my weight and also earn an extra income. And you know what? I took up the opportunity. And today, I've been able to lose more than 50 kilos, and now I'm feeling so excited and very energetic, and back to my, back to good health, and I'm also earning residual income, which has also been able to enable me to quit my TSC job, and now I do this business full time. I have financial freedom and time freedom, and my future is very bright, So that is your story. Talk about your background. What you did not like about your background, and the solution you got. How did you get the solution? Even if you are not where you want to be, say my future is very bright. I see myself achieving all my dreams. So that is so important. Tell them your story. So after you finish with the prospect, make sure you ask for a decision. And of course, the way to ask for a decision, you don't ask them, oh, what do you think about my business? If you need to ask them which part of the presentation did you like most, because you've talked about health and wealth, and you can also talk about lifestyle. People are traveling. In fact, next year we are going to Mauritius, So tell them about that. And then you ask them, what part of the presentation did you like most? Hello? Yes, very important. So if they tell you the wealth part now, it's now good to ask them to fill the form, and they can now commit to join the business. So if they answer you with a question or an objection, answer it back with a question. Answer it and ask again for their decision. So if they have asked you a question, make sure that you answer that question and ask for the decision again. If the prospect wants to think over it, try to find out why they need to think over it, because most likely they have an objection. So you can resolve that there and then. But if they still want more time, encourage them to try some products and experience the benefits for themselves. So you can tell them, take 1 liter of Supergrow and try using them as you think over it. And if they say no, after you presented, they say no, just accept it graciously and thank them for their time. and you ask them if they would like to try the products. If they also still say no, just ask for a referral. Who do you know that may want this kind of thing I'm doing? Who do you know that would be interested in my business? Who do you know that would be interested in our products? But if they say yes, make sure you complete the application form together, and you help them to also buy a product, maybe complete an order form, help them to make their order with Neolife, show them the back office or the website, and ask them to start thinking about their goals and the list of names. Those are some of the very important things that you need to ask at the beginning. Ask them to start thinking about their goals and also the list of names. So they have said yes, you're registering them. You can do an online registration. There they have a website, you get to show them their website. And guess what? You are able to now register them. So if someone has filled the form, they have gone home to think about it, you follow up within 48 hours. You can follow up with them. And that is why the next level is about follow-up. So if they have also joined the business, you open their kit within 48 hours. It doesn't matter whether you are launching their business online or even physically, but you do it within 48 hours. So follow-up, we are now going to look at follow-up. So even before that, show them how they can develop a list of names. And now you start helping them to be able to grow or to sponsor even other people and even to make their first profit. So that is now, if for example, someone has joined on the spot, but of course, many people, you have to follow them up. You discover that when you are following people up, they say that the fortune is in the follow-up. You have to really make a follow-up. And it has been discovered that those people who make a follow-up within maybe the first follow-up, you find that 1% of the people will buy your product or even your opportunity. The second follow-up, maybe 3%. It goes up as you follow up. Actually, many people, the highest percentage of people who are able to do something because of follow-up, they do it between the 5th and the 12th follow-up. So you need to really follow up. And I'm excited, even on this call tonight, I saw a lady, she's called Agnes Yator. We met in Eldoret last week and she joined the business on the spot. I have been doing a follow-up for her for the last 3 years. So it doesn't matter, follow up these people until they tell you never talk to me. That is the only time you can't stop following up. So that is a very important aspect. Do very good follow-up. So I want to turn it over to Josphat to continue sharing with us how you follow up.
Right. Thank you, Pearose. Hi, everyone. That's a great session there that Pearose has done. So mine is very little. I will pick it from there, do guide us on how you do follow-up, and then we get to the recognition. So she has already introduced the issue of follow-up to us. So if you allow me, I'll just add a few things here, and then we are done. As Pearose has said, the fortune is in follow-up. So that means that if you don't follow up, then you might just do what we call sensitization. And we are not in the business of sensitizing people, just making people aware that there are chronic diseases. So what? Do you know, by the way, you can be presenting for others to recruit your people. You make them aware that they're in trouble, you don't really close the sale, and they meet someone who just easily sells the opportunity or the products to them because you've already done the bigger job. So fortune is in follow-up, and what we mean is those who follow up are the ones who sponsor or sell. But it's not an automatic exercise. It's not a very simple exercise. It requires some skills and knowledge. That's why it's one of the 7 skills that we talk about. So in follow-up, you'll make sure that you do what you said you would do. If you told a prospect, okay, thank you for coming for the meeting, or maybe you've shared a video that you want them to watch, and you've given them the video, you ask them, what time should I call you? And they will tell you tomorrow evening. Now, many people will forget that they will not even remember they were to call. I've seen so many people do that. And it's the prospect who is trying to remind you, you were to call me, you never called me back. Now they see you are not serious. You're not professional. So if you said you would call them at a certain time, please diarize it and call them. Okay. If you are saying that you would meet them at a certain time, make sure you do. That way they see you are serious and you're professional. Now, this is a very exciting one, and it sounds funny, of course, that the purpose of any exposure or presentation is to set another exposure or presentation. I'm using the two ones interchangeably. So what that means is, after you've done the presentation, before you call it a day, make sure you've scheduled another presentation. I was doing a business launch today for one of us. I believe she could be in the call, a new member. And by the end of today's exercise, we ended up scheduling the next meeting. So you never leave it open. Now that's for a member. What about a guest, a prospect? It should even be more serious. So schedule the next meeting until this person joins. So that next meeting is part of follow-up. Remember, you don't want to nag them, telling them, pay, join, pay, join. No, that is now nagging. You never tell people to pay. You never tell them to join. You keep making it clear and more exciting for them that they will make that informed decision. And of course, as Pearose has said, rarely will you get someone joining at once. And if you get one joining at once in the very first presentation, because there exist such people like us, then the next one might take 10 calls, all presentations and exposures for them to join. That's why we are saying on average, 4 to 6 times before they join. Some may take 3 years. We have a case study here. So it can take whatever the time, but make sure you are doing the follow-up. And then during the process of follow-up, there's one thing that should be happening. Behind the scenes, you should intentionally and deliberately be strengthening the relationship and friendship between the two of you. Remember, when you started, perhaps you were even strangers. But as you move on, make sure you are becoming closer and the relationship is getting stronger. The idea is to build trust and make them feel more comfortable that they can join. Remember, one of the reasons why they don't join at once is because of fear. How do you crush the fear? By building that relationship more and more. Okay. Now, we've said you need to do an average of 4 to 6 follow-ups. Don't target them very far. You invite them and you've shown them the opportunity. Then after a whole 1 month, that is when you'll now invite them for a bigger meeting. After they have attended, after another 1 month, you ask them what they loved most. Surely. You'll be like starting afresh every time. So it should be like within a week or a week and a half, thereabout. You've done all those follow-up exposures. So I've sent you a video to watch. That's a prospecting video. I've asked you what you loved most. You've told me it's the traveling. We've organized for a one-on-one. You've come to the office. I've presented. I've shown you how you travel around the world. You've not yet joined. I've invited you to KICC meeting that we have on Saturday, for example, or our meeting at Market Mansion. You are Ted, you've not joined. I invite you for a Zoom meeting done by XYZ for a different taste. And within that week, you get someone just forwarding you the M-Pesa message having. That is how you do a follow. You keep clarifying stuff and increasing the excitement level, adding fire, until they get to a point where they feel, I cannot hold it anymore, I have to get started. So shorten the follow-up intervals. And then the last one and the big one is handle their objections. This is what makes new distributors very scared. If there's something that new people don't want to hear or even imagine, is someone saying no. The minute they go like they want to open their mouth to say, a distributor will get scared already. But what we need to understand, friends, is that objection is a very good point to be at. Objection simply is like asking for more clarity. Objection is not negative. Never take it like it's something to be avoided. So welcome objections. Actually, when someone objects, it tells you that they are attentive, they are listening to you. If they were not, they would not even respond in any way. So handle objections. And objections will emanate from two main sources. The first one is unbelief or limited belief in themselves. That is self-doubt. And you cannot do much on that other than help them to overcome the doubt. They don't believe they can succeed. They don't believe they can do this kind of business. They've never done business. And that's the most common unbelief that people have. But the second one is they don't believe in the business. Some will tell you, oh, multi-level marketing, oh, network marketing, oh, I've heard it doesn't work. But all those are easy to address. Think about this. If someone, for example, let's just pick a few examples that are very, very common. And maybe you could chat down there some of the objections you've come across. If you have talked to people, you must have come across objections. Those who will not be typing anything, please start talking to people because it tells me you've not yet started. And the more people you talk to, the more objections. Hallelujah. So type down there the objections that perhaps you've come across. But let me be the one to start. Is it a pyramid scheme? Have you ever been asked that? Is it a pyramid scheme? You know, many people will become automatically defensive and you feel so bitter. How can this fellow think that I can be in a pyramid scheme? But you should not feel bad about that question. You should not feel hurt. We say the general rule for handling any objection is don't be defensive. Instead, be on their side. First, agree with them. Don't disagree at once. You would even say something like, you are exactly where I was when I heard about this thing first. I thought it was a pyramid scheme. Until I got to understand that they have very high quality products and the pyramid scheme doesn't have any products. You see? Or you could tell them, for sure you know me, I can never indulge in something that is illegal. And you know what? Pyramid schemes are illegal. You see? So it becomes very easy to address such a tough objection. Many people will not address that pyramid scheme. They will start asking, you think I don't have brain? to get into pyramid schemes. Your attitude is very negative. You know that you always think in terms of pyramid schemes. All right. I can see several others. I can see several other objections, and I can even post sharing fast so that we can address them with the Pearose here. Oh, I am not good at talking to people. By the way, that is a very easy one, because when someone tells you, I am not good at talking to people, tell them, you could tell them first that you are even better. My friend, if you know how my background was, because I never done any business, actually I never knew I can even talk to people. You know, something like that. Always first agree with them. Now, the next thing you want to do is to tell them, how then did you overcome that? And you tell them, you know, I was surprised that Superstars team has a very, very good training and mentorship program. Today I can talk to anyone, yet I could never talk to anyone. By the way, practically you've heard me say that I knew I can never sell, and my first sale I did it in the night because of fear of selling. But today, I love selling anything. I mean, now the other objection, and Pearose, you can interject at any point here. I don't have money to register. I love that one. It's very common. Please don't be tempted to shout at them. Oh, my poor friend, you'll die with the poverty. 10,000 you cannot afford, you'll die with the poverty. You are always drinking and you are saying you cannot afford 10,000. Now, if you go that direction, you will hurt the person, the prospect. Remember, you want to maintain good relationship with this person. So if they tell you they don't have 10,000 Kenya shillings, tell them, I understand. I know exactly where the economy is. I also didn't have money, but let me tell you, I asked myself, if I don't do something, will I not always be in that situation of not having money? And by the way, let me ask you, if you could be able to achieve your wildest dreams through this business, if you were assured that you would be able to achieve your wildest dream through this business, would you find a way of getting the registration 10,000 Kenya shillings? And they will say, for sure. And now you know that the issue is not money. The issue is they are not convinced that this business can sort them for good. And how do you help them overcome that? You could give them some examples. Like, you know, I listened to the story of Kariuki and Pearose. You know, they told us the way they were struggling to pay school fees, they were paying rent. And then I saw the Land Cruiser they are driving, and I said, I must look for money. You see, even if you've not achieved much, you can use the testimony of others. Okay. Another one is it GNLD? I was conned. Pearose wants to say something about that.
Yes, actually, so many people tell you that. Is it like those things like GNLD? You know, it's also, in that case, it's very important to be calm. Just find out what is wrong with what they are talking about. For example, if they tell you if it is GNLD, get to know their history. How do they know GNLD? What do they know about GNLD? You know, and they will always tell you, like, you know, my sister was conned, you know, my friend told me it's a pyramid scheme, you know. So it's good to find out what could have happened. And some people would say, I was in GNLD, so why would I even join this? And you know, it's very important to know, were they in the business? What did they do? Did they even do the business? You know, find out how long were you in that business. For example, if they said they joined, they'll tell you, I lasted only 2 weeks, but why? Is there anything that can make you succeed in 2 weeks? It's also good to find out their background. Where are they coming from with those objections, so that you can be able to help help them through that. So when they ask me whether it is GNLD and the way they don't like them, I will always ask them, have you ever been involved? That is the first question. They will say maybe yes, or even someone has been involved. So get to know their experience. Maybe they got in the wrong team. Maybe, especially when they talk about, they bought products and they were never delivered, things like that. That is where you really capitalize on the team. I belong to a team that is full of integrity, the International Superstars team, and you show them how our team is doing things then in a very a positive way. Our team is very honest. We have honesty and integrity in our team, because most of them, they have had maybe an experience which is not very nice, and some of them, it is because they were lazy. Actually, when you really dig deep, you find that they did not even have time for their business. Like one who told me last week, oh my God, I was in GNLD. I told her, I wanted to know from her. Oh, she said, oh, that time I was a student, I was unable to do. Now I was like, now, if you never gave it time, the business does not work. You have to work the business. You are not there for your business. And that is how we concluded that she's joining the business so that she can do it again. So just try to find out what they could be knowing about, what they could be knowing about the same.
Yeah, if you jump into reprimanding them for taking that direction, is that GNLD, is that this other company, and you don't give them the chance to air out why they are asking that, you might lose a prospect just like that. Some will ask, is it about GNLD? And what they want to hear is a big yes, because they love the products.
Yes.
Now you've told them, no. And then they tell you, then let's stop it at that. The only thing I want to hear is about GNLD. Now, and you've told them it's not. So don't be in a hurry to answer. So you want first to hear their story. Tell them, you sound like you have some experience. Would you mind sharing more? That way now, either way, you'll be able to know how to respond.
Yeah, and if they ask about other companies, maybe they are just network marketing companies, but not our company, please be sincere and tell them you don't know anything about them. You see, you cannot start fighting and talking about other companies that you don't know. So just tell them, I don't know about that, just this is what I know. Okay? That is so important. Don't try to struggle with people who say, oh, is it like this one, that other one, like that. Those ones like me, I tell them blankly, I don't know about them. The only one I know is about Neolife, and that is what I can give you full information.
And to be on the safe side, don't present Neolife. Present your Superstars team business and approach, so that at the end of it, even if someone has a negative connotation about the company, at least you are in a neutral position and you can be able to talk about the team support. Remember, the company doesn't support you much. They just provide you with the best products. As to how you build the business, it's up to you. Now, someone else mentioned the products are very expensive. Now, in a smart way, you may ask them, or you may want them to know that perhaps people out there think the products are expensive because they don't have the full information. And then now you take a few products to demonstrate how cheap the products are. For example, the easiest to demonstrate is Super Glue. You tell them, you see, you are buying 1 liter of Super Glue, but before you use it, you mix with water 1,000 liters. So you are buying 1,001 liters at 2,200 Kenya shillings. Is that expensive? And they will say, no, this is the cheapest. And to triple your ions, no, this is the cheapest. Or talk about IODC. Show them how little you use after you've already diluted. So it will go a long way. But then you yourself, you need to have understood those basics for you to be able to explain. So don't. Okay, I know people will go for the question compared to what? Surely now you put them off. That question can come much later when you've already attracted this person nicely. Don't start reprimanding them. You take your cars to garage for service, but your body is not important. You want to tell me your body is not important? Surely now you start a fight. Okay. So basically that is how you address that. Some saying the products are not working. Now, that's a very unique one. If someone tells you the products are not working, don't insult them. Just tell them, well, the first time I've heard of that, I would want to know more. How did you use the product? Perhaps, yesterday I was being told of someone who used Supergrow being concentrated. The way it is, never diluted at all. Now, surely, if that person comes claiming the Supergrow doesn't work, and he's the one who didn't use it the right way, then the problem is not the Supergrow, it is them. So always take time to understand why the situation is that way, and then you can be able now to guide them on the right way of using. In any case, you can also tell them, these products, especially healthcare products, they respond different, or people respond differently at different rates. Assimilation of the products is different for different people. So don't you be in a hurry. You can be sure as you continue using, you'll see a change. Okay. So I think that is okay for now. The rest of the questions we can engage on WhatsApp groups because we are members. If there's any guest here, I'm sure you'll be part of us very soon, so that we can take the next 5 minutes to do something that is very, very significant. And that is recognition as we talk about Ole Sereni Mara, which is coming soon.